Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This video is so long overdue. People have been loving hip mobility for so long on my Pinterest. If you're here for my Pinterest, I love you so much. I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you so much for supporting me and being patient with me because I've just been procrastinating like a crazy person making this video for no reason whatsoever, just because I don't like my voice. So, I digress. If you're here, thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, share, let me know what you want to see, and let's get into it. We're going to start with the classic 90-90. So you can either start with your hands behind your back. Your knees are going to be bent at 90 degrees, both of them. It's going to feel a little bit funny at first. You can start here. You can come here if you feel like you can move without recruiting other muscles into this, but sometimes it's better to do less. I prefer this one, honestly. I just feel like it feels a lot better for me. It feels better for my body. So depending on your body, depending on how you feel, depending on how loose your hips are, do whatever works for you. Sometimes people will hold a little weight here. If you are up, you want your torso to stay square the whole time. You want to be facing forward the whole time. You don't want to be turning because that's going to disengage your hips and you're not going to get as deep into it. So it's better beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever. Sometimes it's just better to be here. It just feels really nice. Try to ground your sit bones down as much as you can. The bones that you sit on under your buttocks. They're probably not going to want to ground down because you're doing internal and external rotation. When you internally rotate your hips, your pelvis is going to come up to fight an over internal rotation. Your body is very smart and knows what it needs to do in order to compensate for you trying to hurt it. It wants to protect itself, even though you're just trying to get mobile. From here, try to notice which hip is tighter than the other. For some reason, my left one is tighter than the other. My left one is not having it today. We'll do a couple more here, and then we're going to move on to more internal rotation. One more on both sides. I don't remember which side I started on, so one more on both sides. Can't hurt. And back to the middle. We're gonna lay on our stomach. I'm gonna have my elbows down, and we're gonna come into a half frog. You don't want your leg to be super high up like mine is right now. You want it to be back a little bit further. You want it to be at exactly 90 degrees or a little bit more that way, a little bit more so your knee is like pointing down. If it's up here, you're gonna have a much shorter range of motion. If you're back here, you're gonna have a much better range of motion. It's gonna be much more comfortable. Keep your neck neutral and just lift your back foot up. And don't feel bad if your back foot doesn't lift this much. Maybe it lifts here, maybe it lifts like this, maybe it doesn't lift at all, maybe you're just trying your hardest to lift it. Everybody starts somewhere. I'm sure on my Pinterest, well, I know on my Pinterest I have videos of me doing this, and I'm sure I was not lifting my foot this high. I can almost guarantee it. This is not an easy movement. Our bodies are not used to performing hip internal rotation. It's just not something we really go about doing, at least not to this degree. Try to pay attention to what muscles are trying to recruit here. A lot of the times in this position, our lower back is going to try to recruit. Sometimes you'll feel a little bit of cramping in your upper glutes. I get that fairly often. My glutes do be loving to take over. Do one more on this side and then switch sides. Our right leg comes back. left knee comes up. I wish I had a bigger mat, my poor little bony knee. And lifting our left foot. Hip internal rotation on the left side. I don't know if this has a name. We'd like to name it something. It's probably called half frog. Somebody can come up with a name for this. I feel like it deserves one. This movement is uncomfortable, but after you do it for, I would say, a couple months consistently, you'll start to feel like a little bit of enjoyment doing it. It feels like a really, really nice release. Maybe you'll feel it before then. Maybe you'll feel it the first time you do it. But for me, the first time I did hip mobility, I was just frustrated because it was like, I don't understand how people are doing these things with their body. Their mechanics must just be different, and my body just can't do that. And I'll get super frustrated. But there's no need to be frustrated because everybody starts somewhere. And not everybody is going to document their first day. Not everybody's going to document their bad days. So you have to give yourself grace and realize that you're not the only one starting a journey, and you're not the only one trying something for the first time. You're not the only one that sucks at something. It's okay to suck at something. You have to suck in order to get better. Last one. And coming up to seated. Ooh. Coming into a hip flexor strengthening move, because we like to mix mobility with a little bit of strength training. I don't know what is all over my pants, but I sure hope you can't see it. So in this movement, you can start with your fingers down, put a little bit of weight into the fingers if you feel like your core is going to try to recruit, because with this, our core, sometimes we want to use a little bit of momentum to try to help get our legs up, because our legs are heavy. My legs are really heavy, I swear. I don't know how much they weigh. I wish I could just weigh my legs, but there's a lot of meat there and they weigh a lot. So you could start back here. You can come and bring your hands to the back of your head. I've not been able to speak all day. I can't believe I'm filming right now. I'm not professional enough for this. And then we're just gonna lift. But we're gonna do it nice and slow and controlled. And we're gonna try not to use any kind of momentum, any kind of rocking to get us up, because then that would just be a core movement. When you put your hands behind your head like this, you're going to take out your lower back engagement. If you're down here, you're gonna feel your back engage much more than if you're up here. So sorry for the hiccups. I had chocolate, raw chocolate. It's so good. It's called Honey Mama's. The lavender rose flavor is the best. For some reason, it makes me have tiny little hiccups. Breathing through the pain. Do one more, two more, and we're gonna hold this one as much as we can. Hold it, drop it, breathe. Don't forget about your breath. And the right one comes up, hold it, hold it, hold it, drop it, ooh, and just slump. Not because it has any kind of hip flexor benefit, just because I feel it necessary after that. Breathe. And take a moment to just thank your body. It really does a lot for us. And we really don't say thank you to it enough. We actually berate it much more than we say thank you to it. We're actually really mean to our bodies. We talk down to our bodies. We tell our bodies they're not good enough. but they do so much for us. And we should be so grateful for them and the fact that they keep pushing on even though we consistently talk shit about them. We're gonna move into dancing lion, but instead of it being in full tabletop like a normal dancing lion is, this is a normal dancing lion, we want to really get into our hip flexors. It might be slightly uncomfortable on your back knee. If you need to tuck your toe in order to take a little bit of the pressure off the knee, you can. If you want a pillow or a blanket or something under that knee, you could do that as well. It's a little bit weird movement, but you'll get into it. You're just going to do dancing lion, but you are going to let that foot that's in front roll up. You're going to let your head roll around. You're going to let your back leg roll around. Everything's just going to be rolling around, including your knee. I'm sure you didn't hear that because I have a microphone on, but my knee is making crazy noises, so I am going to tuck my toes to protect my little bony knee. Take it slow if you need to take it slow. Coming back, nearly sitting your glutes onto your heel, and then coming forward, really stretching that hip flexor. Inhaling up, exhaling back. I kind of want to put a microphone just on my knee. Like a little zero cartilage knee ASMR. That's the knee. Oh no, that's not the knee. My left knee. I tore a bunch of my cartilage in. And then I rehabbed it and was working out, but was trying not to favor my left knee too much. And then I hurt my right knee because I was favoring my right knee too much. And now they're just a little crunchy, but they're good. The body can do amazing things if you take good care of it, if you listen to it, if you do good by it. Come into a low lizard lunge from here. Release your toes. You can come all the way down to your elbow, or you could stay up on your hands. Just make sure you're squeezing in those back glutes. The more you squeeze your back glutes, the more your hip flexor is going to work. Can't think of a better word. You can push your left knee out with your left hand. Get a little twist going. Stretch. The more your hip flexor is going to stretch. Gosh. I'm telling you, this is not the day for me to do this. But I really wanted to make this for you. So I'm here. Switching legs. Our right leg comes forward. Ooh, my goodness. You should feel some feelings in your hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing. Gosh, on this side. Little half dancing lion, one-legged dancing lion, whatever you want to call it. Going nice and slow. Rolling around. Really feeling all of the muscles stretching, flexing, engaging, disengaging, doing their thing. Feels so nice. I just want to stay up here forever. Just a little while longer. Up to our lunge position, either staying here in a high lizard, coming down to a low lizard. Listen to your body. If you did something on the other side, try to do the same thing on this side. If your body is not having it, try to get close to doing the same thing on this side. My right knee does not want to be pushed out, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to put my forearm on my knee, push it a little bit, but I don't want to hurt myself. Less is more. I think I said that in my other yoga video. Just because you feel like you should be doing more, you can be doing more, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be doing more. Coming into our yogi squat. If you can't get into a yogi squat, if your heels are popping up, you either have ankle mobility issues or you have hip mobility issues, and that's why you're here. You can put a block below your heels, you can put a towel below your heels, you can put a blanket below your heels, whatever you need. If you're kind of like up here, you can totally do that. That's absolutely fine. If this is really painful and uncomfortable for your knees, don't do this, like at all. You could just go to butterfly, which is one of these little guys. Push your knees down as much as you can, flap it a little bit. But if you can do yogi squat, come into yogi squat. Hands come to our heart. We're gonna push our knees out and straighten our back. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Try to keep that same posture you just had while you were pushing both of your knees out. Our left tricep is fighting and pushing our left knee out, and our right knee, we're forcing out, even though there's nothing pushing against it. Back to center. Take a breath. Right hand comes down. Same thing. We're pushing, we're fighting to keep those hips open. Back to center. Sit down. Come into a butterfly. If you can do a forward fold from here, then that's incredible. I don't know why you're even watching my video. If you can't, you and me both, put your elbows onto your knees or close to your knees and just flap your wings, pushing your knees down further and further each time, breathing into the posture, the movement, the exercise. Every time you deepen your breath, every time you take an inhale and an exhale, you should be able to release more and more tension in the body. Get your knees closer and closer to the ground, closer and closer to the quote-unquote full expression of the posture. I notice a lot more people avoiding saying full expression because while there is a full expression, not everybody can get there. Not everybody's body's made the same. It's just not accessible for some people, and saying that and constantly reiterating that there is a further expression that you could be getting to that you can't get to, I think almost deters people and makes them want to not so much stop trying, but makes them feel less welcome. So I've tried to stop saying full expression, because if you feel like you've gotten to a point where your body feels really great and it can't get into a yogi squat, then that's fine. Then your body feels really great and it can't get into a yogi squat. You don't have to go into a more full expression just because there's more that you can do. Listen to your body always. Love your body always. Come on out of this butterfly. Back to our little seated posture. Give yourself a hug, because we don't give ourselves enough love. Tell yourself that you love yourself. I love you. Our bodies are incredible machines. They do so much for us, and we should really give them more love. And you should give yourself more love too. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that you stayed and did this little routine with me. I hope that you come back. I hope you subscribe. I hope you love me as much as I love you. And I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful day.